In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Check for Errors button to identify any errors in your document that could cause you some issues when you try to run your workflow. Now, in general, if you're using the Word add-in to insert your variables, you shouldn't have any issues. It's not going to introduce any errors by inserting the variables through the Word add-in. However, if you're just manipulating the document yourself, or if you're adding any custom code from the Code Curious part of our Learning Center, it's possible that you could type something in incorrectly that would cause an error. So that's the type of thing that we're looking for. It's a good idea to check for errors in your document before you upload, just to see if you have any issues that you can fix right away. So I'm going to click the Check for Errors button now, and I will see what comes up. What you see here is that there's a little message here, and there's a next and previous. So I can go through actually, and notice what's happening on the left is that it's moving me around at the same time. I'm going to start with this one. If statement without matching end if. So you want to make sure that there's always a closing if statement to your end if. Now in this one I see we have a paragraph opener and we have an ender end if. However, in this one, this does not have the paragraph closing. So we need to add a P. If you weren't sure what that looked like, you could always go here. Client yes, no is yes. This is how I would know what the closer is supposed to look like. I'm good. All right, so what I can do is I can either click the Check for Errors button again and see if that still appears, or I can keep going. So here we have the next error. And so I look at it, if payment structure equals hourly fee, it's not valid syntax. Then it's telling me in the quotation that the equal sign is not valid syntax. So it tells me the space in general, and then it gives me the exact spot where the issue is. So I look at this and I go, okay, equals hourly fee. Maybe I don't spot the issue right now, so I look at a different one that's similar, and I see, wait, so it also has the equal signs. However, this one, they're both right next to each other. And this one, there's a space in between. That must be my issue. So I'm going to delete the space, and it makes sense because it has to do with the equal sign, which is what was flagged there. And now I'll go to the next issue. And now I get to spouse name is not valid syntax, not a variable or function in this workflow. That's odd because I thought I made a variable called spouse name. Spelling of your variables is very important. So let's see if that is exactly how I spell that variable. I could go check this in my workflow, but I'm just going to go here and insert that variable and just see what it looks like. Aha! So I see that if I'm inserting from the Word add-in, that spouse name is not capitalized. So it looks like I must have messed that up at some point, so I'm going to fix that. Alternatively, I could just delete this one and keep the Word add-in one, whichever one. Missing opening or closing braces. This is referring to brackets, so I know it's in this section because it took me there. So I'm going to go through and look at all the brackets, see if if each thing that's open has a close. So this one has 2, does it close with 2? This one is 1, does it close with 1, etc. Here I see 2, and here I see 1. So that is my issue. I'm missing a bracket. Checking for missing brackets is another good way to troubleshoot in general. So making sure that everything that has an opener has a closer. Let's check for the errors button and see if I'm missing anything else. All right, all my other errors went away. I don't see them anymore, except I do have one remaining. It's an if statement without a matching end if. So we've seen this before with the paragraphs down at the bottom. Let's see what we can see here. In this case, we have an if statement, and I don't see a matching end if, because in this case, it would probably be flagged out to me because it's blue. I need to put in the end if statement that matches this, and this is a show phrase when condition. Say I don't remember what that's supposed to be, I can just go over here and I can create it again, just in a spot that's not a spot that matters. I'll delete it right after, insert it, and then here I can get the end if that I want. I can cut it, and I know that it goes right here because I just happen to remember that, and then I paste it in, and then I'll delete this because otherwise that will generate another error and make it the way I wanted it originally. There, and so now I have this if statement and a matching end if statement. And so it's just a good thing to note that you can use the word add-in to help you build the parts of the syntax. If you're missing something or you're not sure how to put it together, you can use that. All right, I think I've gotten everything, but let's confirm. Check for errors again. No errors found, so it tells me this when there were no errors, which is great. And now I know I'm going to upload my document and I can just keep going.